Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Florian, good to see you. So in this video it's all about essential camera gear you need when start building your photography kit or looking into building your photography kit. The first accessory I would buy is a bunch of batteries. There's nothing worse than going out for a day shooting and you run around with one single battery, which gives you around 300 to 400 images. Depends on your day trip maybe or your subject you shoot. You might need 2 or 3 batteries to cover a full day of shooting. Batteries are cheap. You can buy third-party batteries off Amazon, including a charger for 20 quid, or you buy the original branded batteries for 50, 60 quid per battery. That's literally up to you. My personal own opinion is that third-party batteries from Amazon are actually pretty good and decent, and I personally think there's nothing wrong with going third-party batteries. And I can link some batteries down in the comments as well, which I use for the Fujifilm X-T3 and X-T4. And yeah, definitely consider to get a bunch of batteries just to have enough juice for your camera to get you going all day long. My second accessory gets stored in one of those little pouches, which is shockproof, waterproof as well, and it is good SD cards. Yeah, I'm still having a 4 GB old SD card from like 6, 8, 10 years ago. However, good SD cards will save your life. First of all, they're reliable. Second of all, the speed or writing read of those cards will help you taking 30 images per second. You can shoot nicely a burst mode with your camera and your SD card will keep up and writing images onto your SD card. But also when you transfer your pictures from a SD card onto your laptop, a good decent card with a good writing or reading speed will definitely improve your workflow. So definitely worth considering spending a bit more money on good SD cards. And I personally use the SanDisk Extreme Pro 170 megabytes per second in 64 gig and 128 gig versions. And usually a 64 gig card lasts me all day long and I got still plenty of images left I could take if I wanted to. So definitely consider to buy a good SD card, and I'm gonna link my SD cards down in the comments as well so you can check them out. But also keep in mind or consider have a little pouch to store your SD cards. A shockproof, waterproof case for your SD cards can be definitely handy if any accident occurs, or let's say it starts raining when you're out and about. You can easily throw this one in a sink and your cards are safe and nothing has happened. So definitely worth considering a good SD card. Third accessory would be definitely a variable ND filter, which is basically nothing else than sunglasses for your lens, which definitely got the benefit of you can slow down your shutter speed when you're out and about, or you can keep your lens wide open and you screw on a variable ND filter. When you start out and let's say you're just shooting with your kit lens, then you're probably good off just buying a variable ND filter for this specific lens. If you got a bunch of different lenses, then it's probably worth getting a step down ring kit that you can screw a bigger filter onto a smaller lens. However, because I'm using 2 to 3 lenses, I got a specific filter for each lens. I personally just found it a bit easier than thinking about the step down rings and just keep a variable ND filter on each lens. So definitely worth considering having at least one variable ND filter, but also it will give you some sort of protection for your lens. Let's say your lens would fall over, your lens glass is covered and protected by a variable ND filter. So definitely worth considering. It doesn't need to be the most expensive variable ND filter. There are good decent variable ND filters out for £50, £60, or even maybe slightly a bit less. I'm personally using a Go variable ND filter and I've been very happy with them, and I can link them down in the comments again as well for you to check them out. I found them decently priced, decent quality, and they will get you started for as long as you need, or decided to invest in a more expensive, more good quality variable ND filter if needed. So next point on the list would be a good tripod. I recently invested into the Peak Design travel tripod aluminum version. It's definitely more on the pricey side, but definitely worth considering. Having a good tripod, I started off with one of those cheap travel tripods. They're doing a job when you start out, but in the meantime, the leg is a bit flimsy. They aren't as stable as a good, decent tripod. So definitely worth considering having a good tripod, investing a bit of money into a tripod. It gives you stability. You don't get this massive shake like with the cheap travel tripod. And it's a long-term investment as well. And it will last you several years before you decide you need a more bigger, heavy tripod than one of those little travel tripods. The benefit of my Peak Design travel tripod, it is fairly slim and neat and tidy and small, so it's easily stuffed in a bag and I go out and take it with me. However, those little travel tripods, they don't weigh much, but you need to keep in mind you will sacrifice a bit of quality when you go with a cheap tripod. So definitely worth considering what sort of tripod you might want to invest. You can use it for long exposure photography, landscape photography, architecture. A tripod is always handy to have and will benefit in many situations. You need to carry your camera gear around as well. So now we're coming down to the backpack. What sort of backpack is right for you? And you probably will buy several backpacks throughout your life, and you will have several backpacks because sometimes you need a smaller backpack like a Peak Design 20 liter, or you're looking for something bigger when you're doing a longer day shoot out or anything similar and you want to carry more gear around with you as well. So little tip what I can give you when buying a camera backpack, think long term. You might think a small backpack like a Peak Design right now is absolutely fine and enough and it will last you a couple of years, and then 1 year later you bought a couple of lenses, maybe a drone or any other accessories, and you don't have a space anymore in your camera backpack. And then you say, okay, I need a bigger backpack, I buy another backpack, and boom, you got already 2 backpacks, another bag, and it keeps going and going and going. So definitely think long term when buying a camera backpack. Maybe buy a slightly bigger backpack with the mindset of you want to increase your kit. You want to buy a different lens. You might want to stuff a jacket in when it's out and about, or you're out and about and you want to take a jacket off. You don't want to carry the jacket. You want to be able to fit it in your camera backpack as well sometimes. And thinking about what do you want from a camera backpack? How much flexibility do you want? Do you want flexibility where you can change the insert 100%? Are you happy with the insert which is fixed? What do you need from a camera backpack? Do you need side pockets? Do you want side access? So definitely take your time when buying a camera backpack, but also make sure you buy something good quality. It will protect your camera gear when it's raining, when it's windy, when a camera backpack falls over, it will protect your camera gear. So definitely worth considering what sort of camera backpack will suit you, what are your aims with the camera backpack, and thinking maybe long term to not investing every year into a different camera backpack. I'm gonna link my camera backpacks down as well so you can check them out. And I'm very happy with the Manfrotto Backloader Pro series. And I'm not sponsored, I just bought this backpack a couple of months ago and I'm very happy with it. And I would definitely recommend it to people who are looking to buy their first camera backpack as well. 2 more items I would consider whilst building my kit. A good cleaning kit for your lens or your sensor. You need your blower, your pen that you can wipe a bit of dust off your lens, or even a J-cloth, which you get pretty much with every single purchase nowadays. You buy batteries, you get a cloth, you buy the lens, you get the cloth, you buy, I don't know, any sort of accessories, and they will give you a free cloth with your purchase. So definitely think about a good cleaning kit. There's nothing worse than going out and realizing you got spots on your lens and you need to Photoshop every single spot out. So you rather clean a lens before taking a picture than spending hours in Photoshop editing dust spots of your lens or your sensor. And last but not least is storage. You can go either with a hard drive, with a SD drive, or with a cloud. You got 60 gig worth of images you need to storage, and there's a bunch of different options out. I like to work with the SD hard drive or portable SSD in this case from Samsung. They are fast, reliable and speedy, and it's just fun to edit of them. However, I'm also working with some Seagate 2TB hard drives, which doing fantastic job as well. They might be a bit slower than an SSD, but at the end of the day, you want to storage them, you edit them, and then you keep them on your hard drive or SSD. You could use a cloud where you upload your images to a cloud service as well. That's entirely up to you. It's also potentially a bit of a cost point or money point. 2TB Seagate hard drive costs around 55 quid, whilst a terabyte of SSD costs you twice as much and you just get half a capacity. But this is entirely up to you. If you start out, you're probably good off with a hard drive to storage your images. And when you're going into the photography a bit longer, you get more images, you need to edit faster, you want to edit faster, then probably worth considering a SSD. And with that said, guys, this is how I would build my kit when I start building a new kit again, or if I would start out doing photography. Essential things you need, and which covers a wide range of photography or videography items in this moment. You got your spare batteries, you got your SSD cards or SD cards, you got storage, you got cleaning, you got a tripod, you got a carrier, such as like a backpack. You got everything you need to go out and shoot. And whilst we're talking about going out and shoot, if you wanted to think about a new lens, a new prime lens or a new zoom lens, I would recommend at least shoot 6 months with your kit lens to find out what sort of focal length is your preferred focal length. And then you can decide if you want to buy a prime lens or if you stick to a zoom lens. Spend some time with your kit lens. Your kit lens will teach you a lot of things. What's your preferred focal length? Do you zoom? Do you walk more when you want to change the framing? And then decide if you want to buy a kit lens, zoom lens, prime lens, or anything else. And with that said, guys, today I hope you liked this video. Like, comment and subscribe. Do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you, my friend, very soon in another video. Cheers, mate.